This is a Tibetan heart yoga sequence. So come to standing, just press your big toes into the ground and stretch your feet so that then your little toes press into the ground and your other toes should just fit in between. And just feel you're pushing the earth away from you, which should push you or encourage you to stand up, lifting at the chest. Lift and roll your shoulders. And just bring your mind to the base of your spine, the perineum, the Muladhara chakra area. And then a little bit further up, behind the spine, at the abdominal area. And then at the solar plexus area. Then behind the heart. Then the throat. Move your mind up to the third eye, the Ajna center. And then finally the crown, the Saraswara. Release your hands. Come to the top of the mat. Breathing in, breathing out, bring your hands together at the heart center. Breathing in, arms up, looking up or straight ahead. Breathing out, bend, hands either side of your feet. Step or slide your right foot back. Bring your right knee to the ground. Left foot back. Dip your back in cat, looking either up or along the ground. Rounding your chin comes to your chest as you tap your toes and come into a very soft dog. Feel you can adjust your feet, maybe make them wider. You can bring them closer to your hands if you want to. And just stay here for a moment as you bend one knee and then the other knee, walking the dog. You can sway your hips from side to side. Press both feet back. They don't have to touch the ground. You're just aiming your heels towards the ground. And then bend both knees back down to the ground. Your hands go to the left, your foot goes to the right, comes up to the right. The right foot comes up. Hands either side of your right foot. Tuck your back to left toes under. Lift your back left knee and step your left foot to your right foot. Press your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing and carry on raising your hands up, either looking up or looking straight ahead. Stretch your hands, your fingers. Breathing out, lower your hands. Breathing in, breathing out, hands to the center. Breathing in, hands up, back if you can. Breathing out, round, down, bending your knees, hands either side of your feet. Step or slide your right foot, your left foot back, and then left knee on the ground. Right foot slides back, you're in cat. Dipping your back, looking up, rounding your back, chin to chest. Engage your perineum slightly, tummy or lower abdominal muscles in towards the spine as you come into a soft downward dog. Push your bottom away from your hands to balance your weight and then begin to extend your legs and feel here that you can take any adjustment to widen your feet if you need to. Walk the dog very gently and then bend both knees back down to the ground. Hands go to the right. That gives space for your left foot to come up. Hands either side of your left foot. Tuck your back right toes, lift up and then step your right foot to your left. Press your feet down as you roll up vertebra by vertebra. Breathing in, raising your hands up, stretching your fingers. Breathing out, lowering your hands. Inhale, exhale, hands together. Inhale, hands up, look up. Breathing out, round down. Hands either side of your feet. Step at right foot. Right knee on the ground, left foot. You're in cat. Dip your back. Round your back, chin to chest. Tuck your toes into a soft downward dog. Walk the dog. And then bend both knees back down to the ground. Hands to the left. Right foot comes up. Hands either side of your right foot. Tuck your back left toes. Left foot comes to the right foot. Press your both feet down as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Arms up. Lower your hands alongside you. Inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart. Inhale, hands up. roll down, left foot back, straight line, left knee to the ground, right foot back, cat, inhale, dip your back, rounding chin to chest, tuck your toes, downward dog, walk the dog, bend both knees down to the ground, hands to the right, left foot comes up, hands either side of your left foot, tuck your right toes, lift up and step your right foot to your left, press your feet down as you roll up, vertebra by vertebra, stretching up, lowering your hands. Inhale, exhale, hands at the heart. Inhale, hands up, roll down, step back, right foot, right knee on the ground, left foot, left knee on the ground. This time, walk your hands forward to come into a kneeling up dog and then just lay yourself on your tummy. Stretch your hands out in front of you, bend your knees, and just circle your ankles a couple of times in one direction and then a couple of times in the other direction. And then just sway your feet from side to side so they are a little bit like a windscreen shield wiper movement. And then lower your feet back down to the ground. Slide your hands towards your chest, elbows in, press down with your hands to come back to kneeling. And then come to your downward dog, stretching back. Both knees come back down to the ground, hands go to the left, right foot comes up, hands either side of your right foot. Tuck your back left toes and step your left foot to your right foot, rolling up vertebra by vertebra, stretching up. Lower your hands, lift and roll your shoulders and clasp behind your back, knuckles to the ground. Separate your hands, slide them down the backs of your legs, hands to the ground, step back with your right foot, left foot, left knee to the ground, right foot slides back, and then slide your hands forwards to come into a kneeling up dog, and then lay your body on the ground. Stretch your hands in front of you. Bend your knees, just circle your ankles in one direction and then circle your ankles in another direction. And then just windscreen wipe your legs from side to side. Lower your legs, slide your hands back to under your chest, elbows in to support you as you press down with your hands, come back to kneeling and then carry on coming into a downward dog. Stretch back your legs and then bend both knees back down to the earth. Hands go to the right, left foot comes up, hands either side of the left foot, just stretching. Tuck your right toes, lift up your right knee, step your right leg to your left, roll all the way up to standing. Stretch up, look up, stretch your fingers, breathe out, lower your hands. And then come to roll down sitting on the mat and have your feet or your legs out in a V. Just lightly place your hands either side of you just to support you. Take any flesh out from underneath you, your bottom. Just lengthen your body. Raise your hands up to touch palms. You can touch thumbs as well if you want to. Turn towards your left side and then bend your elbows to soften you as you come forward and slide your hands along your left leg. It becomes a very soft and gentle variation of what in this practice is normally Janushasana, that's head to knee pose. But bending the knees can sometimes be a bit tricky. So just come forward over your left leg, extend your left heel, and this is a forward bend, but it's also a very slight rotation, and it opens up your inner groin, your lower hip area. So just take a moment to recover, Walk your hands up your left leg, come to the centre with your body, raise your hands up again, just either touch thumbs or touch palms, and turn to your right side, bend your elbows, and slide your hands along your right leg. Again, this becomes a forward bend, but also a slight rotation as you go to the right, and you'll feel that slight stretch along your left, along your back, the muscles from your hip up to your ribs, your quadratus lumborum, I think, is involved there. It's a significant muscle anyway. And then sliding your hands up, come to the centre and bend your knees to bring the soles of your feet together. How much you want to do this is up to you. You can have your hands holding classically over the ends of your feet. That's quite a strong opening. You can just sit up slightly and have your thumbs inside the soles of your feet, just massaging the soles of your feet. Or if you prefer, you can hold your ankles or come up even higher to hold your shins. Just enjoy the opening of the hips. And this also, there are many variations of Baddha Konasana or Cobblers pose. This is a classic one, but you can lie down, and this again rejuvenates at the lower abdominal area, which is, you have a lot of organs there, so it's supporting the lower abdominal area for blood flow into that area. So just enjoy once more. If you're going to massage the insoles of your feet, then just massage them with your thumbs. And a reminder that the soles of the feet in reflexology reflect the body. So the big toe would be the head. If you run your fingers underneath the ball of your big toes, the centre of your foot, that's little dent there, almost in the centre, is the equivalent to the solar plexus area of your body. And that is almost the kidney essence, that's your vitality, your life's essence, if you want to just massage there. And then very gently sit up, take your hands underneath your thigh to lift up your knees, and then just straighten your legs out in front of you. Hands either side of your thighs as you just bounce your legs. And then cross your right ankle over your left. Take your left hand, take it to the outside of your right thigh. And then your right hand can go behind you on the right. Press down with your right hand behind you to lift your body up. And breathing out, just turn over your right shoulder. If you prefer to rest your fingers on the ground, that's fine too. Press your hand down again as you breathe in, lengthening the body, and breathing out, just turn. You turn as little or as much as you would like, and the head is the last thing to turn. Just take a breath here, and when you're ready, come back to the centre, hands either side of you again to support you as you lift your right ankle off your left. Just swirl your ankles around, stretch your toes out, and then take your left ankle over your right. Sit up, take your right hand to the outside of your left thigh, and then your left hand goes behind you as you sit up and breathing out, turn. And then sit up, breathing out, turn. Head is the last thing to turn. So a rotation, which this is at the lower level of the body, any rotation is realigning the spine, because you're just gently stretching the muscles either side of the spine. And then come back to the centre, hands either side of you, uncross your ankles, extend your heels so that your toes are up, and then slide your hands down your legs so that you come into a soft forward bend. You might like to press your hands onto your shins to lift you along the spine, tummy or lower abdomen in slightly, engage your perineum even here, and then just slide forward to where it's comfortable for you. So your hands might like to stay resting on the shins, or you might like to slide your hands down to the outside of your feet, depends entirely on your capacity. And just take a few breaths here. So a forward bend is always calming to the nervous system. Your chin tends to tuck in towards your chest, and this activates the vagus nerve, and this is very good for anti-inflammation. You can, if you've got knee problems, always issues, just soften your knees or even have support under your knees. But if you can straighten your legs along the ground, then that's helpful too. So just choose what you feel works for you. And then sliding your hands up. And then bending your knees. Hold your knees and walk your feet towards you. Try and keep your back straight. So to do that, you'll have to engage your tummy and just lift your feet off the ground. You'll feel that you're engaging your core to maintain this position. And then very gently place your feet on the ground, slide them away from you, and just come slightly forward, sliding your hands down onto your shins, just to compensate for that movement that you made. And then sitting up, cross your legs into a gentle cross-legged position. Hands either side of you, just to lengthen your body. Take your left hand to your right knee. Your right hand goes behind you. And again, as you inhale, lengthen, and breathing out, turn over your shoulder. And you might find or feel that this turn works on your digestive system, works on your navel. So that's your samana energy, and it's your digestive system is really key to our health for everybody. And then just come back to the centre. Hold both knees and just nod slightly forward. Feel that you're lengthening from the base of your spine. Sit up, and then take your right hand to the left knee, left hand behind. Lengthen your body and breathing out, turn to look over your other shoulder. And then come back to holding both knees. You can slide your hands down your shins if you want to, and you can even walk your hands out slightly in front of you on the ground. Just coming forward to neutralise that rotation that we've just made. And then coming back up again. And before we move on, we had an astrology talk yesterday, and linking astrology very much to yoga. And out of interest, Wednesday in Latin terms is, and French is mercredi, and it then is a very easy step to think of Mercury. And Mercury is the planet of communication. And communication within the body you could think of as being breathwork, pranayama, because it's all pervasive in the body. So just while we're here, just raise your thumbs up at an angle of 30 degrees and just do a couple of breaths in and out, breathing through the nose. You can breathe through the mouth if you want to, but nose is normal in yoga, and it's an equal breath in and an equal breath out, so you're sniffing the air in and out. And in Kundalini, this is called breath of fire, so we won't do very many, but I'll start and join in. So it's and last one, breathing in, touch thumbs together, and breathing out, lower your hands. So that connects into the navel energy again, because it's cleansing out all the stale air and just cleansing, toning up the digestive system. So come to bring your hands either side of you. Come to kneel as we make our way up to standing. Take your time. So I'm going to tuck my toes and then coming up, rolling up through the body, vertebra by vertebra, to very, very gentle standing. And we've moved in our energy focus to the heart, the chest. So this is a journey through the chakras or the energy points. So just lift and roll your shoulders. And if you just open your chest, you can feel the stretch. Stretching this like this is one of the safest ways for people with heart conditions, because you're stretching the chest, you're stretching everything, but you're not putting the body through any strain. But then from here, stand with your feet out. Yoga classically would be standing out more than I'm doing and modifying. So in classically, your wrists should come underneath your ankles, which is a big stretch, but I'm modifying that. So just come to resting your hands on your waist. And then hands out. Just feel the stretch under your arms. Turn your left foot in, your right foot out. If you're feeling that your balance is a bit wobbly, you can move your right foot out more towards the edge of the mat. And just soften your front right knee to drop your weight centrally and look over the right hand, beyond the third fingers of your right hand. Just check that your left arm is not dipping down. You can always, if your left arm is tired, place your left arm on your waist. And then breathing in, stretch your right arm up, straighten your leg and look at your right thumb. And then breathing out, come back to the beginning. Your warrior two, either with your hand on your waist or with your hand out, whichever. And then bring your left palm to your right palm. Slide your left arm back, elbow high, to draw your bow. And then come back to warrior two. And then release both arms. Come to the center of your mat by turning your right foot in. Lift and roll your shoulders just to reset them. And then turn your right foot in and your left foot goes out. Come to your warrior two with your arms out and drop your weight centrally so that the weight's not over the front left knee. You can always come with your hand on your waist if that's better for you. Breathing in, raise your left hand up to look at the ceiling. This disconnects the eyes from the stress centers of the brain, so it becomes a mindfulness exercise. And then just releasing your left hand back again. Open out your arms and bring your right hand towards your left palm. Slide your right arm back high, elbow high, draw your bow. And then just opening out your arms, lower your arms, bring your left foot center, and then just heel toe your feet in a little bit. And lift and roll your shoulders. Keep your left hand along your left side, hold your left thigh. Raise your right arm and turn the palm inwards to face your ear. You're not going to go very far here. This is a Tibetan triangle. Tummy or lower abdomen in and just engage your perineum. Hold on to your left thigh. As you come over slightly, you can come statically or you can just bounce in and out. Chin in slightly. You can look ahead. You can look up under the arm, but that's stronger for the neck. Just feel the stretch along this right side. Then tummy in, press your feet down to bring you upright and lower your hand back down again. Slide your left arm up as you hold your right thigh. Your inside of your arm is towards your ear. And the two should almost be glued together, but I think that's quite difficult. Just to aim for that. As you come over to the right side, feel that you're between two panes of glass, you're not twisting your hips. Difficult, I know. And just bounce or come statically, whichever you prefer. Chin slightly in. You can look up. That's a stronger look, a stronger pose. Press your feet down as you come up, and then lower your arm. Hold your waist. You can have your feet hip width apart, and just test your balance as you lift your heels, and just see what your balance is like today. Mine's not great. This balance is encouraging the left and the right hemispheres of the brain to communicate with one another. And then breathing out, lower your heels. And then just carry on to bend your knees, bottom goes away from you, and you'll feel your core or abdominal muscles engaging to support this pose. And then pressing your feet down to come up again. Bring the thumbs together, just hook your thumbs, raise your arms, and then just sway from side to side. So this is quite balancing for the hips, the pelvis. It balances your posture. It's, again, equalising and balancing one side and the other side. It's called swaying palm tree, and in Ayurveda, which is the medicine side of yoga, this is very helpful for balancing our energies and actually feeling better. It's almost like a pain reliever. And then just come to the centre and lowering your hands back down to your side as you lift and roll your shoulders. Place one hand on your navel, it doesn't matter which, and one hand on your heart area. And feel that there's a piece of ribbon connecting the two areas, which will encourage you to lift your chest a little bit. And for optimal posture and optimal organ functioning and body functioning and stacking everything up, if you imagine that the ribbon is straight between these two areas, you've aligned your posture. It's very easy to slump forward. So here, your hips are stacking up on top of one another, your chest is lifting, it's uplifting for your mood, there's space for your organs, you're not compressing and slouching down over your organs. So it's a brilliant reminder for posture, very calming. And we'll just finish the heart centre before we move on by bringing both hands to the heart. Breathing in, just opening your palms outwards and upwards. Breathing out, bringing the hands back to the heart. You can slightly lower your chin to the chest. Breathing in, opening your hands outwards, and breathing out, bringing your chin back to your chest. And then breathing in, opening outwards, and then breathing out, chin to chest, hands back to the heart centre. And then from here, we're going to move through to the throat area. There are many ways that we can do this. Before we sit down, we're just going to turn the head to one direction, come back to the centre and turn through to the other direction. So this is wakening up the throat centre at the neck, turning the head from one side through the centre and then turn very gently to the other side. Come back to the centre. Take your time to come now back to seated on the mat, sitting on our bottoms, and this particular pose is incredibly easy. It's a nod to the, both the heart and the throat area, because the two are quite linked. So it links the heart through to the throat. So come to have your feet out in front of you, your hands behind you. Classically, your fingers should be facing forwards, but please take, that can be quite strong on the wrist, so please feel that you can adjust your fingers backwards if you need to. Your toes are up to the ceiling, And you do nothing more than just press lightly down with your hands or your fingers, and you'll feel your chest lift. You can keep it like that, looking forwards or slightly upwards, or if you want to engage slightly further, with control, slightly lift the chin and look up. And just take a couple of breaths here. So you're opening your chest, but you're also opening your throat area. Some people feel very vulnerable. They don't like this opening. It's when you see animals lie on their backs and open their tummies. It's a sort of a slightly vulnerable sense sometimes, but it's again opening for the throat area. And then just very gently bring your head back to centre if you've moved it at all. And then just come to lying on your back and hug your knees into your chest. And just rock very gently from side to side. And then bring both feet to the ground. Hands, palms down beside you, and cross your right knee over your left. And just sway both knees from side to side again. How much you sway them is up to you. You can lift your hips off the ground, and you can sway your knees completely down to one side and then to the other. It's an entirely optional movement where you feel comfortable. This also opens you up under the base of your spine. It's opening at the base of the spine. Come to the centre, uncross your right leg, place your right foot on the floor. Just sway your knees gently from side to side. And then very gently pick up your left foot and cross your left foot, cross your left leg over your right. And very gently again sway from side to side. You're also massaging across the top of your sacral area, and you've got a number of acupressure points here. So if you are stiff in the hips anywhere, it can be quite soothing. Come to the centre and uncross your left leg. So both feet are on the floor and both knees are to the ceiling. And then very gently, hands or palms down, come to do a pelvic tilt. So you're flattening your back to the floor and then releasing so that there's a little gap under your lower back. Flattening your back to the floor, as if you're going to lift your bottom up and then just releasing. And do that a couple of times, just exploring moving the spine at the lower level. You're supported on your spine, the rest of your spine, by the ground underneath you. And this time, optionally, press your feet into the ground, lift your bottom now, and raise your arms. They can be bent at the elbows, chin tucks in, as you lift up into a gentle rolling bridge, stretching your arms behind you. And then start to breathe out, and then start to lower your arms and your back, vertebra by vertebra, back down to the ground. And then just relax and you're back onto the ground. And when you're ready, do that again by pressing your feet into the ground, lifting your back. Check that your knees aren't splaying out. Raise your arms, chin goes into the chest, stretch up behind. You lift as little or as much as you would like. And then breathing out, lower your arms and your back. Hug your knees into your chest once more. And then slide your hands down your shins so that you're holding either just above your ankles or your ankles. And you come into a version of supine Baddha Konasana. So you're opening up the inner groin and opening up the hips. You're opening up the energetic system, the part of the lymph nodes, the system at your lower groin level, so you're boosting your immune system. Just take a couple of breaths here, in and out. And then depending on where you are, you can either drop your hands underneath both thighs and raise your legs upwards to the ceiling and just sway from side to side. If you've got long arms, and that's no trouble, you can get hold of your big toes and open your legs in a V and just again sway from side to side, but hold your legs wherever you can. So this is an inversion, and an inversion is very helpful to balance the endocrine or hormonal system. You might not want to be holding your feet like this for very long, but if you like being upside down, then you can either have your legs up against a wall or you can have your legs over a chair. It has many benefits. It brings the blood back to the heart. It takes, obviously, if you've been on your feet a lot, it just rebalances the blood flow for you. It just gives the body a rest, a reset button. But we're not going to stay here very long. Just enjoy either staying static or just slightly rolling from side to side. And then just release as you hug both knees into one another. Keep hold of your knees. As you breathe in, let your knees travel away from you. And as you breathe out, hug the knees into the chest. As you breathe in, let the knees travel away from you. You're still holding the knees to arm's length. And breathing out, hug the knees into the chest. Breathing in, let the knees travel away. And breathing out, hugging the knees into the chest. And as you carry on doing that, and just picking up on Wednesday, Mercredi, and the Mercury theme linking over to astrology that we did yesterday, the whole body communicates. You can't isolate one bit of the body from the other. So it's about communication. Everything connects with everything else. So it's a very gentle movement that we're doing here. It's a variation on something called apanasana. Apana is one of the foundational energies for our body at the lower level, and asana is Sanskrit for pose. So apanasana. And it's very soothing for the lower back, but equally you've got blood going all the way up your spine. You might be able to feel, if you carry on doing this, a slight tingling of blood almost going from the base of your spine right the way along to the top of the head. So it does link, the spine links the body. It's a central part of us, and linking along the body, so the blood flows from all the way along the spine. And then just take a moment to support your legs under the thighs and bring one foot and then the other foot back down to the ground. And you can either stay with your knees bent or you can stretch your legs out along the ground. Just bring your attention to your feet and physically just slightly curl your feet and release and relax them. Slightly tense your knees and release and relax. Tense your bottom and release and relax. Check into your hands as you clench them and release and relax your hands. Physically lift your chest slightly away from the ground and then just relax your back and chest back onto the ground and release. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears and then move your shoulders down away from your ears and then release and relax them. And gently turn your head from side to side. We didn't touch on the third eye. Some versions of yoga don't move to the third eye in the crown, but I will just include a nod. So taking one palm of the hand, or the fingers of one hand, just very gently circle around the middle of your forehead in one direction, just touching on the third eye. It connects through to your pineal and further back the pituitary glands, so part of our metabolic control still. And then very gently take both hands at the top of the head, the crown, the Saraswara. You can just gently cradle your head in your hands, connecting you to the outside world, through your magnetic field, but it's not just at the crown, but it's a symbolic connection to the outside world. And then just release your hands back to a comfortable position. Take a moment to have a thought for the day, for yourself or for anybody. To have a good day, it could be a simple thought, it's your sankalpa. Wish for the day, and mentally repeat it a couple of times to set your intention. And then you can either stay here relaxing, or if you'd like to join me to end the class, then just become aware of your fingers and toes, maybe move them. Maybe bend one knee and then the other knee into your chest, and once more enjoy rocking from side to side. And then taking your time, because a sudden movement might spoil all that lovely energy and calm that we've created for ourselves. So take your time to come to the side, maybe roll to your right, which is away from your heart. Stay here for a moment, don't feel you've got to hurry. Take your time to come up gradually, readjust as the blood readjusts to come up to a seated position. And bring your hands to your heart, a bow for yourself, and thank you very much for joining me today.